Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse. Today, Tuesday, February 18th, 2025. Well, it's all happening. It's the Eric Adams situation has come to a head. On Friday, there was the filing of the nolo prosequi, but many things have happened since then. A number of people have now filed to oppose the immediate dismissal of the case, saying there has to be an inquiry under various kinds of forms of case law. These include former U.S. attorneys of the Southern District and New Jersey and Connecticut. Yours truly, Inner City Press, we filed a motion to unseal all of the sealed dockets placed in the vault and other redacted material in the docket, because it seems like if the basis if this is a weighing of the public interest, the public has to have access to the information. It seems indisputable, but we'll see what happens on that. We also put out a book, by the way, called Sovereign District, ? DOJ dismissal of Eric Adams, about all of this, including Emile Beauvais, including the various dramatis personae, and including some Brady and other violations in SDNY. It's kind of anyway, it's out. It's an ebook, audiobook, paperback. But today, I get ahead of myself. Tomorrow at 2 p.m., Judge Ho is having some kind of a hearing at courtroom 318 in 40 Foley. We will be covering it. He's having a hearing basically on how to proceed on the motion to dismiss. So it sounds like he might be setting up a more lengthy procedure than some had acknowledged. That's all to the good, but the unsealing should take place. But today, now, as we speak, Brad Lander, of course, there's the political angle. Brad Lander is having a press conference at 10 inside the municipal building. Scott Stringer is apparently, it's about 22 degrees out here. Scott Stringer is going to do a press conference in City Hall Park at 10:30. He's also running for mayor. Curtis Lee was announced, by the way. But, and the big meeting is Kathy Hochul and a group of 5, or I'm not sure. Donovan Richards is involved, the borough president of Queens. Got Brad Lander. Hakeem Jeffries listed by some. The issue being, can Kathy Hochul herself, under the public officers law, take Adams out? She has to provide due process, and no one's quite sure what that means. It was only tried once by FDR as to Jimmy Walker, the dandy, but he ended up quitting, so it was never tested in the courts. I would say if she does it, it's not going to be as fast as they think. I don't know if he actually will leave City Hall, so we'll just have to see. But it's all happening. Now, what else is going on? Many cases in SDNY. In fact, this morning, there was the docketing of a dismissal of a case by visitors of Julian Assange back in the day in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Their phones were searched, and they sued the CIA. They sued Pompeo. He was dismissed. They sued the CIA, and there was one claim remaining, and Judge Kodal, in an order docketed this morning, dismissed the claim under the state secrets doctrine. So in a normal day, that would be kind of a big thing. We'd give it more play, but these things are coming fast and serious. There seems to be I receive a lot of mail about this Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni situation, and there were filings very actively over the weekend about the subpoenas, Blake Lively's subpoenas for not third parties' data and communications. So that will be resolved soon. There's also an attempt by a creditor to sort of reopen and intervene in the Rudy Giuliani and Georgia poll workers case. We thought it was over. It was right here as I approached the court. Right here, there was a stakeout several times by Giuliani denouncing it, and then finally by Andrew Giuliani saying, we've reached a great settlement. Somebody paid, but now these guys are trying to horn in. So that's been opposed. That's been opposed by the Georgia poll workers' lawyers. They don't want the case reopened. They said it was a delicate situation, and now these bull in a china shop. That's the UN, finally, before we go into the court. Totally corrupt. They've announced a guy to work on reform. It's Jens Wandel. We covered him before. He was the guy that covered it up at UNOPS. So the UN corruption goes on. They continue to ban the press. We're going to keep pushing to go in, but we wouldn't even go in that much. But we do have questions on things like Cameroon, Sri Lanka, what's happening in Saudi Arabia. But for now, we're going into the court, and we're going to be covering this Eric Adams thing closer than you know. Sovereign District, here we are.